If you're trying to be a better bard, I got a great video for you today. The bard's got a bit of a learning curve because you sort of have to juggle, playing music in order to make him like viable. Once this kind of becomes muscle memory, like playing your music, it becomes so much fun. The buffs and the debuffs are just insane. I think Bard's probably the strongest solo class right now. I'm just going to share 5 tips that I think is going to take your Bard gameplay from noob to like an intermediate or maybe even a pro level. You get these 5 tips down and let's just get started. We're gonna go over the perks really quick and I'll make chapters in the video. So if you already know a tip, you can skip to the next tip, or if you just want to watch it in case you don't know something, then that's helpful for me. Here's what I think is like the bread and butter for Bard. All right, charismatic performance. Immediately you should always have this perk on. It allows you to note skip. Ooh, excuse me. And if you don't know what that is, I'll play a little clip for you here, but you're essentially just doing exactly what I said. You're note skipping. You're missing a note so you can play the song faster, which is really useful in PvP fights. So songs like Shriek of Weakness, a huge debuff that is definitely going to give you the advantage in any fight as a bard. And I'll go over what music you should take too, but it takes a while to get to the first note for this song to be played. So with taking charismatic performance, you can just click immediately and skip the first note and it goes off much faster, if that makes sense. Hopefully the video I put up will explain it a little better too, but definitely a must take perk. The other one I would take is superior dexterity. You're going to be switching between your instruments and your weapons a lot, especially in the middle of a fight. And every like little second that you have is super crucial. So being able to swap faster is just a solid advantage. Again, I think these just make the Bard super overpowered, just these 2 perks alone. And that's not even talking about Rapier Mastery. So the next one would be this perk right here, Rapier Mastery. Rapier Mastery is awesome because it gives you 2 weapon damage and 5% action speed. So it's going to allow you to swing your rapier a lot faster. And then 2 weapon damage is just a nice little, like, you know, little chef's kiss on top of it. If you stack your dexterity like crazy, like up to 35, 40, somewhere in between there, you can get a lot of swings off. So a high dexterity on a bard coupled with rapier mastery, you're swinging like a madman. And that's obviously going to lead to more damage that you output as opposed to swinging your rapier a lot slower. So again, just another solid perk that works super well with Bard. And the last one that I take is Fermata. Resourcefulness, if you don't know, increases the amount of time that your buff stays active, including your debuffs. I'm not going to get into like how other characters, depending on what their will is, determines how long the debuff lasts on them. But just speaking strictly on buffs, the buff's going to stay on you a lot longer, which again, the whole reason Bard is super good is because of their buffs, right? You get all those sweet buffs. So instead of like having 15 resourcefulness and having to play all your songs like every 30 seconds just to have them active, that 5 resourcefulness makes a big difference and allows your buffs to stand a lot longer. So those are sort of the perks I would take. Moving over to the skills, this will be quick. Music memory and music memory 2. These other skills, Party Maker, removes drinking effect from nearby allies. That's just so useless to me. The drinking effect's not even that bad, and no one's really using ale that often unless you're memeing. And then dissonance is all right, I guess. If you're not really one to use these spells right here, or these musics rather, that would be fine. It's essentially just silence, and 3 seconds is a decent amount of time, so if that's your flavor, go for it. But I just think having the second music memory for these other really good musics is way more useful. So that's sort of the down low. Tip number 2, music. You have like 5 that you always want, and then the rest are sort of interchangeable. I mean, there are some musics that you should probably always have too on music memory 2, but essentially you're always going to want to take Rousing Rhythms. It's +2 all attributes for 90 seconds. Beats of Alacrity, that's additional move speed, so 9 additional move speed. Aria of Alacrity, that's 8% action speed. So again, you know how we talked about the Rapier Mastery, that 5% action speed, you swing your rapier a lot faster. Well, this gives you even more, outputting even more rapier hits, which means you're outputting more damage. So awesome perk right here. Or music rather. Ballad of Courage increases your fizz power by 10. And then Shriek of Weakness is insane because your enemies lose 5 fizz power and 30 armor rating for 18 seconds. Again, a little bit shorter depending on the will of the other person. These are the musics you always want, right? So you've got your main buffs that make you faster and stronger, right? This makes you very competitive. It makes you a threat. Moving over to music memory 2, you'll notice I don't have, this is just a Squire kit, so I don't have anything special on. But once you have a little more knowledge, like closer to 30, I think, would probably get you most of these. We have Allegro, which just increases your action speed even more. It's for 8 seconds. You got your Rapier Mastery for 5% action speed, 8% action speed on top of that for Area of Alacrity. So you're looking at 13%. And then you get another 6% on top of that. Harmonic Shield. Great, increases armor rating and magic resist for 2 minutes. At least that's what the music says. Lament reduces additional move speed by 10, which is a huge... Lament's awesome. Getting a move speed reduction, I mean, move speed's super important in this game, so having this go off on someone is really nice. Accelerando is just a quick little move speed boost if you're trying to push somebody or maybe you're trying to back off. Banshee's Howl is pretty crazy. It reduces the nearby enemy attributes by 3 for 20 seconds. So, I mean, -3 on your stats coupled with Shriek of Weakness is kind of insane. That's definitely going to give you a win. I don't see a scenario where you have all of these unless you have like a full kit on. So I would definitely take these 5 before you start really worrying about these ones. But if you do, this is sort of what I would run. Tip number 3. What stats do you prioritize? I think there are 2. Dexterity or resourcefulness. Now, if I had to pick, I'm always just going to go with a high dexterity. That allows you to play your songs faster, you hit faster. I think dexterity in Bard is just like beautiful, chef's kiss. You swing so fast, you get your buffs off so fast. Having somewhere close to like a 35 or 40 dexterity, if you're like building towards something, I think is just excellent. The other one is resourcefulness. You could go with a resourcefulness build, which is going to make your buffs last a lot longer. Now, this is only going to affect you as the Bard. It's not going to affect your fellow players. It's not going to affect how long it lasts, like a debuff lasts on another enemy you're fighting, but it is going to affect how long your buffs last on you. So if you're someone that doesn't like to play your instruments every 30 seconds or every minute or so, having a high resourcefulness stacked is going to be really nice. It does feel really good only having to play your buffs like every 2 minutes maybe. You can like enter a room, put your buffs on, and then leave the room and then just do it again. You know what I mean? It's like a lot less trouble. But I honestly, I've played this so many times that these are sort of muscle memory for me, and it doesn't take long for me to get them off. So I really don't care about playing them super often, so I'd rather have a higher dexterity for higher damage and playing songs faster than having them last longer. That's just me. I think you could probably go either way and be totally fine. Wrap this tip up in a bow. Dexterity or resourcefulness first, depending on your preference, and then Vig and strength or agility after that. Tip number 4. I'm going to go over what kind of armor you should be prioritizing. Obviously, you want to boost up your dexterity, so focus on things like that. If you're running Rapier Mastery, just run the Rapier. It's the one weapon you need. Falchion's nice. I'm a Falchion lover. But having this perk is just too good. It doesn't really make sense to me to take a Falchion over that. The whole thing with the Bard is doing the most damage as fast as possible, so Rapier makes that really easy. The Bard can also use the Survival Bow. You're always going to want a Survival Bow with Bard, I think. I'm pretty sure you can get one of these from the Squire. Maybe, I don't remember if I bought this or not. It's been a while since I played. But this is going to sort of cover the Bard's weakness, which is like really any magic user. Minus like the cleric. Cleric's pretty slow, so you can get away with like kiting a cleric using the survival bow. But when it comes to like a wizard or a warlock, we have super low magic resistance, and it's actually, I'm wearing the skeleton skin, so I have +10 magic resistance. That's why I like to use it to sort of cover that weakness a little bit, but this would be even lower if I didn't have the skeleton skin on. So being able to use range to your advantage and use the survival bow is going to help cover that weakness when fighting your wizard and warlock bros. Again, it's going to be harder to get close to them by, you know, getting a Shriek of Weakness off. Maybe use a door to your advantage if they're chasing. Shut the door, and if they're really aggressive, get a Shriek of Weakness off. They might back off from that. They might continue to follow. If they do back off, great time to open the door and get a couple shots off with a survival bow. Again, survival bow, super nice complement to the Bard. And then yeah, obviously focus on building your dexterity. I've got Squire gear that's giving me a little bit of dexterity. But yeah, that'd be tip number 4. Little side tip, if you didn't know, it takes a certain amount of physical power to break things like crates. And you can't do that with the rapier, you know? And there's really great loot in here, so it'd be nice to be able to break these. Pull your loot out and just smack it, you know? Just smack it. Give it a good whopping. Boom. Look at that. Oh, all right. We got someone right here. He used his sprint already, which is good for us. Did he jump down? Tripping? He's fighting Cave Troll. What? He ran right by me. Oh, he's parrying the Cave Troll? That's sick. Alright, he'll be a fun guy to fight. Let's see him do his thing. Dang, he's dipping and dodging. That's so sick. I've never seen someone fight the Cave Troll with parry before. It's pretty cool. Dang! Oh, this guy's kind of a legend. This guy's not going to be an easy fight. That's actually so insane. That is nasty. Brother, that is nasty work. Holy. I don't think I've ever seen anyone parry the Cave Troll. That's sick.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Yeah, man, that's dope. Do you want a 1v1?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is try and get Shriek of Weakness off. Getting this guy's melee range is going to be bad, so we want to get his sprint out and waste it. Our best move right now, since fighters have a good bit of health, is to whittle him down with a bow. Which we're missing a lot of shots, which is not good. Next best thing is to get a Shriek of Weakness off. He might try and waste it. I'm just gonna all in right here. I've only hit him twice. But I got Shriek of Weakness off, which gave us the huge W and the random guy. I didn't know the random guy was coming. This dude would just hide and waiting. He just hit up there and waited. Oh, I wanted to see what that other dude had. Well, it'd be like that in the cave sometimes. Anyways, before you all in somebody, unless you know they're hurt or maybe you're third partying them, the best thing you can do is whittle them down with a survival bow. You can do a lot more if you get a Shriek of Weakness off first, but if you can't get close enough without them hitting you first, which would be bad for you obviously, then just don't even Shriek of Weakness. Just use a survival, whittle them down, and if they're starting to catch up or you keep missing, Shriek of Weakness, and use the Rapier Mastery perk, the advantage of that. Just getting a lot of hits off really quick. Fighters usually have pretty good health and strength, but that's why Shriek of Weakness is so important. We were able to get it off and all in him. Again, we also beat the Falchion. He did miss a couple times, but because we were able to attack faster, we got more damage off. Anyways, I hope this helped some new bards out there. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other one. I've got a top 10 tips video that's gotten a lot of love, and I am so grateful to everyone that subscribed and shown that video love. Thank you so much for that. If you want to see a different kind of video, drop a comment. I'll make it. Sorry for the long space in between my last upload and this one. I just started in the Fire Academy, which is pretty cool, and that's just, you know, that's kept me busy, so I haven't been able to focus too much on this, but I try and find space where I can, and I'll try and be more consistent. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Stay hydrated, stay safe, peace.